Alright, welcome back. Another SuperCoach episode.
Fuck SuperCoach and fuck everything.
The
Fuck it all.
all-important bye round. It's Among Us, the round 13 bye.
Yep.
Your team's in carnage. Chaos even.
Yeah. Nah, we're good.
You're good?
We're good. We're good for this week.
Had some interesting trades last week from you. I want to touch on them straight away because
touch me. Please touch me. I need some relieving.
there were some odd decisions
So
you
I
made.
went for Noah Blake on the Wednesday. I'm usually a Thursday trader.
Yeah.
And I thought I'll get in early because I
Yeah.
wanted to win this matchup. I didn't really give a fuck about future endeavours.
Yeah.
Because I was right.
You've given up on your overall, haven't you?
Yeah, overall can get fucked.
You're sitting at 46.
I just want to come like top 10 would be a goal. It's probably the goal I want to hit.
Yeah.
So I wanted to beat Marco, that bloody Serbian handsome chook. And I think I could have.
Yeah.
If Noah Blake was playing. Thursday morning rolls around. I'm like, yeah, cool. He's playing. Mid-Thursday day. Oh, he's dogged the boys.
Yeah.
He's a dog. Early release, this, that. Next thing, he's not playing. I'm like, cool. I could have reversed the trade, but I just thought, fuck it. I just sat there. Was at work, and I'm like, I'm too busy for this shit. It was one of those busy days where I couldn't really attend to shit.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it. So I wrote it into the ground.
And now he's got the bye this week.
And now he's got the buy. But I don't
trade.
give a fuck. It was a great trade.
No points in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Beautiful. What was your other trade?
Did I make another trade? I cannot even fucking remember. Crows, no. Strange, no.
No.
One trade.
Just the one trade.
One
Saving
trade warrior.
trades.
Yep.
Very
I
good,
thought I was
very
going to
good.
lose anyway, so
Yeah.
fucking may as well save it.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's me.
I made a couple of trades.
You did.
The obvious one was Cleary to Dylan Brown.
Yep.
Which worked out well for me. Dylan Brown played all right, got 66 points.
He's been good.
And then the other one, really last minute trade. I was going to save one, and then I was looking at Lane in my team. I wasn't happy with him, but I thought he's going to play round 13, and I kept him in. Probably shouldn't have. I'm just sick of seeing him in my team. Like I just want to get rid of him.
I'm with you. I understand.
But it doesn't make sense to do it this week, I don't think. But I was looking at Cotter.
Yeah.
And I thought he's going to play Origin.
Yeah.
He had a pretty high break even, so he's going to lose a bit of money. And I just thought I don't want him over the Origin period.
Yeah.
I think even if he does back up, I think he's going to play limited minutes.
Yeah.
And I got a bit trigger happy. You know, I was looking at my team. I'm like, I want to make a trade.
Yeah.
They're there to use.
Make a move.
I want to do it.
Bust it.
So I went Jack DeBellin in, which I'm pretty happy about.
He arguably had one of his better games.
Yeah.
Million line
He
breaks.
played really well, and then there was a couple of injuries for the Dragons, so he played probably
Heaps.
more minutes than he would have
And if they
normally.
didn't get bashed, he could have got some more points, really.
Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that. He's got good coverage. He plays this week, and he plays round 19, which I think is going to be really difficult.
Yeah.
And also plays 14. So
Go the Drags.
I did like his bye coverage, and so yeah, brought him in.
Did you quickly see Ramsey?
Yeah.
How good was that dude?
Yeah.
Good on him.
Yeah, he's back.
Fucking proper battler.
Yeah.
Like dead set.
I think
pick up, though.
he's still a while away. But,
2 years at least.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy. Quite low ownership as well. I think a lot of people are looking at him this week. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I might look at him. Might have a look.
I think with
I've got two people in mind.
Sewer's out as well over the Origin period, so he might play
Extended
some more minutes. He's got the captaincy this week. Which
Is he gonna play? He might even play 13, dude. That could be even better for you.
So yeah, I'll just touch on my overall rank. 3,264 went up 563 spots. So
Very good.
not too bad. Scored 1,263 points. So
Did you win your matchup? The battle of the fucking brutes.
no, I didn't. First versus second, I just lost by about I think 15, 20 points.
Ooh, that hurts.
Yeah, Fafita got that try assist in the end, and that kind of it put him
Got
over
it
the
for
line
him.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll touch on Fafita a little bit later because huge news for him.
He's good.
With SuperCoach.
Oh, Clayton. Fuck you, Clayton. You're too good.
It's very frustrating because if we knew Fafita wasn't going to play Origin, he'd be an obvious pickup weeks ago. We kind of held off him because he was going to play Origin
You
and missed out.
Pick him, eh?
And now
Like
he's
just in
back,
case.
and then he's like, "Well,
Is he in the squad?
No, he's not in at all.
I
Not
might pick
in the
up.
20
I might
20
pick
man
him
squad.
up. Fuck
Yeah.
it. I might just go ballsy now.
Yeah,
Mine for fucking Fafita.
yeah.
Is he playing this week?
He's not playing this week.
Oh,
Though,
of course he's not.
But he does play 16 and 19. So
Dog.
after this week, probably he's going to be a
I don't want to
really
keep playing
obvious.
for another week. I don't want him. I'm sick. I'm like you. I'm sick of seeing
Yeah.
him in there. Now he's on the bench.
Let's go through team lists.
Help!
So Eels and Sharkies.
This is shit.
Big ins for Parramatta. Gutherson in, Moses in, Ryan Madison's on the extended bench. Penasini's in, Wirra McGreg's in. Hopgood is out.
Yep.
So he's
Origin.
I think that's going to really hurt Parramatta
I
not
still
having him
think
through the middle. But
The backs of Moses and Gutherson
Yeah.
make up.
but the big
Insurmountable.
Supercoach news out of this: Blaze Talangi drops to the bench.
Silly.
Sean Lane, he's on the bench as well. So as he did last
He's
week.
probably going to be out of the side. Like, in all seriousness, I can't see him holding a spot when everyone's healthy.
Yeah. Look, he did play through the middle last week instead of kind of on the edge. He played a little bit of edge and then a little bit through the middle. So I'd say that's how they're going to plan on using him, which is, if he can get the minutes, it's going to be good for his point scoring. But I don't see him playing
Neither do I.
massive
Not
minutes.
anymore.
And look, it's only Hopgood out. Like, maybe if Campbell Gillard and Junior Paulo, if they were at Origin as well, it would make him a little bit more appealing. But
No,
yeah,
I'm off him.
I think I'm going to hold him this week. But then, yeah,
If you're full strength, would it look like this? Would it look like
well, Hopgood would be 13,
13?
and then often Gowie would drop to the bench, and then Sean Lane's a chance of dropping out of the team completely.
Well,
I
that's
think.
how I'd see it now with the Blaze. You can't leave Blaze out of a squad
Yeah.
at the moment. Like, he's the heart
Well, even
beat of
even
Eels.
it seems at the moment that Madison's kind of out.
He's been
favour.
pretty shit too. but-
He's had a bit of a stomach bug the last couple of weeks. Was the reports. So would he come in and replace Lane? I feel like they're quite similar players.
I think
I feel
Madison offers more than Lane, even,
Yeah.
and that's saying something.
yeah. So it's interesting. The other big news out of it is no Lussick.
Yep,
No,
Haynes
Lussick.
has taken the reins completely.
And he looks to be playing big minutes. He
He-
looked really well when he was on the field last week as well. So
He'll play 80. There's no
um,
interchange that
yeah.
can play.
unless
in
they're
the
looking at Talangi as a
middle.
backup hooker, but
He'll just get
he
rampaged.
can't defend, so I can't see that
imagine
happening.
Royce Hunt running at him,
Yeah.
and then one off the ruck.
Unless they put
Hamanueli.
The only other thing is if they put Gutherson at hooker.
Oh, that could be. And then
Gutherson at hooker. Obviously, he's a
he'll just defend.
decent defender, and then they
Defend.
have Talangi at fullback. That
Yep.
could be the way they get him into the game. Otherwise, he only plays Talangi. He'll play maybe 10 minutes and score 5 points. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
tricky.
great.
Not good.
And it's the week that we all needed him to play in that
Yeah.
all important bye round. But anyway,
Thanks, Brad Arthur.
the ghost of Brad Arthur.
It's like he's lingering. Sharks.
Sharks.
Hines out.
Hines
McInnes
out. McInnes out. Rudolph, Puru, Beryl, Trindle, a couple of big ins.
So the main ones that are in are Trindle,
Mm.
Hamanueli, Toby Rudolph, Royce Hunt.
So not many big ins.
So going for a massive bench.
Apart from Trindle, not really any Supercoach relevant news. It's interesting to see what they do with Trindle, whether how he plays could affect if you've got Atkinson. When Hines comes back,
I
does
think-
Trindle stay in the team and does Atkinson drop out?
I think Trindle wears the 7, but he's going to play the 6 role.
You reckon?
I think so.
Mm.
Like, he might take the reins of the kicking, but I think Atkinson will get the boys to where they need to be.
Yeah.
And Trindle will just pop up and do what he does best, being tricky.
Mm. Hines is an interesting one though. It'll be interesting to see what happens,
Yeah, if he's healthy enough.
whether he plays Origin, because he's going to miss a few weeks. Obviously has that.
He won't back up. Sharks won't want him
Yeah.
to back up either. So tricky Trindle could be a little pickup.
We'll get on to Hines and whether he's a sell or not in a minute. I think he is, but
Maybe.
yeah.
Knights Bulldogs.
Knights and Bulldogs. Big changes for the Bulldogs. Sexton and Hutchinson are the halves with no Matt Burton.
Yeah, I like
he's-
sexy. Sexy's in.
He's 18th man, so even though he's not probably going to play, it's good for him because he'll back up,
Yeah.
obviously. But he's going to miss those 13, 16 and 19
Yeah.
bye weeks, which is a bit of a pain. So if you've got him, he's probably a sell, I think.
Yeah.
Stephen Crichton, he's obviously out as well. So Karaz moves to centre. I don't like that. I was looking at Karaz as a pickup this week, as a lot of people are. I would much rather him on the wing.
I should have got on him early. I don't hate it because you know he's still going to give you 20 hit-ups.
Yeah.
And I think with the way this Bulldogs team is built without Burton, they've got more chance of scoring on the edges than they do the wing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Burton attracts a lot of attention. So now it's going to be up to Sexton. Can he get it to the edge guys? And what do they do from there?
Yeah.
It's against a weaker Knights pack on those edges. That's probably their weakest spot now. No Bradman Best.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It's just a fill-in for now. Let's be real.
Well, obviously, once Crichton comes back, he'll go back to the wing.
100%,
But
no doubt.
Yeah. I think it limits his upside. I don't think he's going to score as many tries.
The tries are the one.
Yeah,
the tries.
that's where he's going to get his most of his points, right? You want to see him crossing over for 2 tries like he did last week.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do that in the centres.
I can't wait for this clip to play back when he's got a hat trick and we're just sitting here looking like dickheads. It's always the way. Eh?
Always
the way.
Always.
Oh, he's going to score 3. He scores nothing.
Preston. He moves into the starting
Finally.
side. So he's got the 11 jersey.
How good has he been off the bench though?
With no Kickout in the team. Whether Kickout comes back, does that make him... he got injured.
Oh.
And then Kurt Mann, he goes back to lock.
I think the best side is with Preston starting. And that's no knock on Salmon.
Yes.
Salmon.
100%.
Salmon, however you say his name. Fish.
Yeah.
Pink fish.
I
love Preston.
I think they were just easing him back, so I think...
Yeah, 100% they were.
I think he's kind of got that starting spot locked up now, you would think.
I weirdly like Salmon's game off the bench. He just runs hard for 25, 30 minutes and then comes off.
Yeah. For the Knights, not too much changes. Safidi, he returns from suspension ahead of Hetherington.
Yep.
And no Bradman Best at centre.
Fuck, that sucks for the Knights.
The big news, though, Frizzell is on the bench. Kai Pearce-Paul is in the starting team. So that's really good news.
I think it's smart. Get Frizzell to play back when he was at the Sharks and Dragons days, just fucking running like a maniac before he was a back rower. Just off the bench like crazy
Come
man.
through the middle.
Like a Lenu. That's how he used to play for the Sharks and Dragons back in the day.
Panthers and Dragons, obviously mass changes for the Penrith Panthers.
His fucking whole team.
Obviously, no Dylan Edwards is the big one for a lot of super coaches that picked him up a couple of weeks ago, myself included. So Dane Laurie is at fullback. McLean,
he's good.
Is on the wing.
Big fan of McLean.
He is good. I don't see him getting an extended stay here though.
If this May drama and with Taruva leaving, McLean's probably licking his lips going, I'm next.
Yeah.
So Panthers fans, he's good. Yeah. He's seriously good.
He's definitely one to watch for next year.
He's so fucking
So hopefully he doesn't do well. And we can pick him up nice and cheap next year.
Because if he fucking has
otherwise,
3 or 4 games of brilliance, like he's fucking good. He could shoot up 120,000.
Schneider, he's back, so he'll be in the halves with Cole. And Liam Henry is onto the back row with Lindsay Smith.
That's gonna be good. See how that works.
Yeah,
because they're obviously back rowers. Nice.
So obviously no To'o, no Edwards, no Yo, no Luai, no Liam Martin, and no Eisenhuth.
That's nuts. And they're still gonna win. Let's face it.
Yeah. So
fucking hell.
Peachy's on the bench with Maverick Guy. A couple of people have him, so he's a nice number for you. Probably won't play big minutes, but Liam Henry's the big one. A lot of people have him as that reserve front rower.
Yeah.
He's got the starting spot on the edge, so he probably plays close to
60 at least.
Yeah. So
Maverick comes in at the end.
Could score a try. Yeah,
I like that.
That works out really well for all
the would be such
Liam
a cool
Henry
environment
owners
to be in right now. It's just like, did you see the video of him announcing the side?
No.
All the boys were just getting around one another. It was hectic.
Yeah.
Panthers media team, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So cool.
Not Dragons, Dolphins.
The other red beast.
The red and whites.
Yeah, the red and whites never fight.
Dolphins and the Raiders. Now, Trey Fuller, he's back.
He's back, baby.
Obviously, Hammer is out.
He's going to make you some money.
Felice Kafusi's out, but I don't think anyone has him. Hudson
Come on,
Young.
dude. What's wrong with Felice?
Yeah.
It's his haircut.
Well, how shit is that
It's one of
haircut?
the
I'm
greatest-
sorry, but
It's one of the greatest haircuts of all time.
that is dreadful.
Just getting a trim. Literally.
What was going through his head when he
I like it.
when he wanted that?
I'm balding. Fucking let's go.
You know what? He's a lot bigger than me. I won't pick on him too much.
And he's a hitman too.
Yeah.
Literal hitman on the field.
The big MILF, he's back on the bench.
The big MILF.
Big MILF.
Wow. The big MILF.
Anthony Milford, he's on the bench.
I've heard some things. The big MILF. That's awesome.
But yeah, no, obviously Hammer's out. Mark Nichols, he goes into the starting side, and that's kind of it for them. So for the Raiders, Papali'i, he returns.
He does from suspension.
And Mariota, he joins the starting side. A couple of people have him hanging around. So that's a good number for
He's
you.
pretty good, isn't he, Mariota? He goes.
He's been
fucking
going
pretty
all
hard,
right.
The young fella. Didn't they re-sign him until 2027?
Something like that, yeah.
They
yeah.
must. Let's be honest. In about 2 years' time, when he's the premier back rower, we'll be like.
Makes
sitting
sense.
Going, yep, okay, sweet.
And obviously no Hudson Young. He is playing Origin.
When is Zach
so
Hosking back? How long is that poor bastard
I think
been out?
he's a couple of weeks away.
If he came back
Yeah.
this week, it would have been perfect.
Yeah. Sasangi, he is on the bench as well. And Peter Holler, he's gone.
Hello. Hello at me.
The Roosters and Cowboys.
Yes.
Some big outs for the Roosters. Angus Crichton, Egan Butcher, Sualihi, Lindsay Collins, and Lenu are all out. But obviously, Tedesco, he is staying. He doesn't get picked.
He's a chook.
He doesn't get picked
chook.
for Origin. So that's good news for Tedesco owners.
Yep.
And he looks to be one of the obvious trade-ins this week.
Yep.
It also makes Manu not as appealing.
No, fuck no.
Manu at centre is
Those
just
7,000 people that
yeah.
traded him in would be spewing this week.
So anyway, not a whole heap of, apart from the outs, not a whole heap of big ins. The big one though is May. He starts at prop.
Yep, that's good. 20 minutes guaranteed to start the game. That's what I like to know.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So hopefully more minutes for him this week. Nat Butcher, he comes into the back row with Lindsay Collins and Angus Crichton and Spencer Lenu all out. Wong is into the team. Tupanua, he's in the team. And Michael Jennings,
17.
he's in the team
The old
as
Fox.
well. Kiri's been named at 5'8", despite being in the extended squad for the Blues. So, yeah, not a whole heap there. The only other one is Nafua White. He's starting lock for the Roosters, probably until Connor Watson comes back. So I think he's out for another maybe 2 weeks. Probably not worthwhile, but
Unless if you got him, fucking loving it.
if you picked him up last week, you're very happy this week. He's
Yep.
going to play big minutes.
Massive minutes.
But yeah, I probably wouldn't go out of my way to get him. I think it's a little bit of a waste of trading him in.
Yeah.
You're going to want to get him out again in a couple of weeks' time. He's cheap. He's going to make a bit of money over the next couple of weeks, but yeah. And then the Roosters as well with the bye next week. That round 14 bye is going to be a bit tricky to navigate.
Yep.
So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now for the Cowboys, huge changes. Obviously, no Nanai, no Tuolungi, no Reece Robson, no Cotter, no Dearden, and no Holmes.
Lot of players.
Lot of players.
Jesus Christ.
So they're all out. Tommy Chester, he's back.
Chest. Big chest.
Big chest. Braden Burns, he's on the wing again.
Yeah, he was very good, really.
Granville is starting at hooker.
God, Granville's been playing football for a long time.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah. Clifford, he's in at 5'8". McKaylee and Finny Fuiaki, friend of the show, moves into the starting side.
Big friend of the show. Love him.
And Shibasaki is on the bench for the Cowboys.
He's just getting passed around like the family platter dude.
Don't know how that's happened. Is that a different Shibasaki?
It must be.
Because he played for the Rabbitohs like 2 weeks ago, did he not?
Isn't the other one called Sherman?
Maybe. It's a different one. There's multiple Shibasakis. There you go.
No, that's not him. That's his brother.
Yeah, okay.
And he's a second row.
There you go.
Let's say poor Shibasaki's just getting passed around like the fucking
Too many
local boy.
too many Shibasakis going around these days.
Jesus, there's a lot of Shibas getting around.
But yeah, they're the team list news.
Yes.
So
I need to see the traded in and traded outs, Will. I
Yeah.
need to know.
we'll get there, mate. We'll get there.
No, I don't care about the rest of the show. I need help.
Now.
Now.
Okay. Obviously, let's reiterate. It's round 13. It's the bye. Lots of outs.
Yep.
You don't need a 17. Okay. You still need to pick.
13.
You need 13. You still pick your 4 reserves.
Just cause.
And the 13 players will be picked out of those 17
With
that you
the
pick.
best score.
Yes.
So it's the best scores.
So if you have a player not in your 17 that you don't put the reserve on, they're on your bench. They play, but you don't put the reserve on them, they won't count. It's not going to automatically do it. Pick the 17 that you're
you
playing.
would normally pick, like, say...
No one's going to have more than 17 players. If you do, good on you. But if you've got 16 or 17 players, pick all of them in your reserves or in your team, whatever.
and the best 13 will
The
score.
highest 13 scorers will get added. The other ones that aren't in the top 13, so if you've got a Tuolangi that comes off the bench and plays 2 minutes,
Yep.
his
You're sweet.
3 points aren't going to get added to your score.
Yep.
As long as you've got 14, 15 players.
Yep.
So that's the most important thing to get out of the way. But yeah, just count your numbers. If you've got 13, 14, 15 good players, then you're sweet. Don't worry too much about your trades because you're sorted.
You're sweet.
If you have 11 or 12, you might need to make a couple of trades this week, and we'll go through some of the best options.
Yep.
Nico Hines is the most traded out player.
Yep. Makes a bit of sense.
Now
He'll be out for a while.
Yes. So with Nico is something that I want to touch on. The draw that he's got. He misses this week. Obviously for
He's
Origin.
not playing any of them.
He's not going to play 14.
None of them.
Because he's either going to be too injured to play Origin and then he'll sit out 14,
He's not playing.
or he's going to play Origin and the Sharks are going to rest him. I would
100%.
imagine.
No doubt.
He'll play 15.
He bleeds blue. He's openly said, I love the Blues. He's
Yeah.
not playing for the Sharks.
Yeah. Oh, they're blue.
Yeah, but he's not for the state. I 100% know he's not going to play.
He'll play 15 against the Dolphins. Then he won't play 16 with Origin.
He's not playing 17.
Round 17, he's only got a 2-day rest. They play on the Friday.
No
So he's not going to
chance.
play 17. He'll play 18. He won't play 19. And he won't play 20. So you'll get 2 games
Out of 6.
out of 6.
Yeah.
So he's a sell for me.
100%.
And the other thing is he's got a break even of like 190. So he's going to lose a lot of money as well. The problem is though, who do you trade him to? If you don't have Dylan Brown, he's a good option.
Katoa. What's Katoa? He could be a shout. Just off the top of the dome, I'm just...
Katoa, he's 371k. Does play all the bye rounds, but
that
he
was the
hasn't
one I was
been.
thinking.
He hasn't been great. He's got scores 37, 26, 36,
Yeah.
27, 35. Not for me.
Yeah. Well, who are you thinking?
I don't know. Walker's the obvious one. Hey,
I'm worried they're going to just keep withdrawing him. But
Sam Walker's the obvious.
Sam Walker, sorry.
He's the obvious one. He's got a really good draw, the Roosters, but he doesn't play 14. I've already got a lot of players from the Roosters. I don't really want to be short next week.
So do you have a second option? So it'd be Walker and who?
I've got... You could go Moses. He's back this week.
True.
The problem with him is I'm worried about if he performs really well over the next couple of weeks, he could find his way into the Origin team. I think from all reports, he was kind of the front runner to get an Origin
Don't
spot
you have to be in the squad?
before he was...
How does that work? So
Hey?
how does it work?
What do you mean?
So unless injured, you can't come into the squad.
Not for this week,
But for future
but for the
games.
next weeks, he
Yeah.
can just get picked. Yeah.
For 2 and 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you don't want to pick him up this week and then he misses 16, 19, and then
That's true. That would be fucking
the weeks that he backs
heartbreaking.
up.
So
So
you're trading out Hines for the same reason that you get.
yeah,
That'd be heartbreaking.
like he'll get you probably
It's 50
An
to
extra-
60, 70.
an extra 1 or 2 games, Moses, if he does get picked. But yeah, I like Jerome Hughes, but he's on the bye this week, so you'd wait a week, get him next week.
Yeah.
That's what I'm leaning towards. Only covers the 16 bye, doesn't cover 19, doesn't cover 13, Jerome Hughes. So that's another look. There's no standout options.
Yeah.
There's no one that really gets me excited and thinks that's an obvious trade. They've all got their pros and cons for him, basically. I think Moses is probably the best option if he doesn't play Origin, but it's a risk. We don't know how he's going to come back from his foot injury. He's been out a long time.
Who knows?
A long time.
Scary
So
thing with the foot, if he gets stood on by accident in
Yeah.
a tackle or
Yeah.
he steps on someone,
Yeah.
that's all it takes.
and then
these days.
is he going to goal kick? Like, is that going to affect
Probably
his goal
not.
kicking?
You'd say not.
If Moses isn't goal kicking, then
Shawnee
that's a
Russell.
lot of his appeal for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that they would be my options. If you had to make the trade this week, I think Walker's the obvious one to go to.
Yeah.
But it just depends on your numbers next week.
Yeah.
Really count your round 14 numbers, because we'll touch on it in a minute. I think a lot of people are going to be found out by it.
Yeah.
Because there are so many Roosters players that everyone kind of has. You could be caught well and truly short, especially if you've got a few Dolphins players as well,
Yeah.
a couple of Canberra players. You could be in all sorts. So, let's move on though. That's enough about Nico.
Yep.
We talked last week about the bye teams, what teams have the best draw over the next few weeks over the Origin period. If you haven't listened to that, go and check it
Yeah,
out.
go back and listen. It's well
We've
worth
also got a little thing on our Instagram,
a spreadsheet.
a spreadsheet
So
just
to
to help you visualize what teams play what rounds over that bye round, what
Yep.
teams have the best draw. But basically, the Knights, Bulldogs, and the Tigers play all the minor bye rounds and also the major bye rounds, and the Dolphins play all the major bye rounds. So they're probably the 4 teams that you want to be targeting if you're trading in this week.
Yep.
So, yeah. A lot of people, centre wing options as well, they're looking at. If you've still got a May in your
Yeah.
team and you're looking at trading out, there's a lot of high upside guys that are playing round 13. So let's go through them. There's Isako, obviously
Yep.
for the Dolphins, plays all the major bye rounds,
Scores tries.
scores
Does a lot of
tries,
Kicks.
kicks goals. So he's got the base there through his goal kicking.
Yep. does.
Karaz has a really good draw as well, plays 13 and 16. As we just said, all the minor bye rounds as well with Isako.
Great motor.
Isako doesn't play 14, so that's one to consider with him. Only thing is, as we touched on, Karaz, he's playing centre this week, and he'll
Yeah.
play centre in those major bye rounds when Crichton is at
Yeah.
Origin. So
Correct.
loses his appeal for me a little bit with that. And then you've got Joey Manu, who's playing at centre. He's expensive at 800k.
I'm staying away.
He keeps scoring tries. He keeps getting heaps of points. He's the highest averaging centre wing this year. But yeah, I would have been all over him if he played fullback. At centre,
Yeah, Teddy's here.
yeah,
No.
I think I've got too many Roosters to be going him. And
Yeah.
then Dom Young, I've already got. Again, it's another Roosters player. I like it. He's expensive though now. And he is very try reliant. He doesn't have the base of the other guys.
Yeah.
So, like last week, he got 36 points because he didn't score a try. If he scores tries, he's going to get heaps of points. He's got a break even of 127.
Oh,
So he's going to lose a little bit of money, you would think. But who knows? Against the Cowboys, he could score 3 tries and make 170 points and go up more money. So I think they're the obvious ones that you would probably want to have in your team.
yeah.
I think you'd want at least a couple of them just because they've got the upside. If they go massive, then you could fall well and truly behind if you don't have them.
Yeah, that's right.
But on the other end, if everyone picks them up and they get 30s, you could really skyrocket up the ranks. So it all depends on how your team's set up, how many you've got for this week, how many you've got for next week, and yeah, that's kind of it for the centre wings. Do you have anything else to add with that?
No, I'm good for that.
Let's move on to the Origin players. A lot of people have Origin players in their team. Which ones we should sell, which ones we should hold on to. We've already talked about Nico. We think he's a sell.
Yeah.
Isn't going to play much over the next few weeks. So, Harry Grant obviously misses the 3 major bye rounds. I am tempted to hold him just because there's not any like hookers that are killing it at the moment.
Standing out.
You could go Grant to maybe Brendan Hands. You go Coruscant next week because he's not in the Origin team. But you don't. Again, with Coruscant, like it's the same story as Moses. Like if New South Wales gets smashed, then Coruscant probably comes into consideration for the next game.
Yeah, that is very true. I didn't even think of that.
Well,
we're not going to get smashed. We're going to fucking smash those Queensland dogs.
But you don't want to jump too early and then it kind of come back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
So I'm tempted to hold Grant. He's coming off the bench. He's not going to play 80 minutes. There's a good chance he does back up. I think Melbourne have a decent... they don't play any Friday night games on the games that they back up. So he's got at least a 3 or 4 day turnaround.
He normally likes to play anyway.
And he does, yeah. I think he'll play all of them. The only thing with me that I'm worried about is whether he plays 40 minutes for Melbourne and scores 30 points.
That's true.
But I'm happy to kind of just...
But there's no other hooker out there that you can look at and go, fuck, there's 100 points.
That's it. The only one is Jeremy Marshall-King, which we talked about a little bit last week. Obviously plays all the major bye rounds. I just don't want a Dolphin player because I've got too many that are out in round 14.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to go him, but he's one to look at. He's obviously going to play all the major bye rounds. He's not going to play Origin. Yeah,
makes sense.
I think if you're selling Grant to him, I can get around it. Otherwise, I think it's just hold, just wait and see what happens. Wait and see how he plays in Origin. He might only play 40 minutes in Origin. I don't think he will, but
I'll give it.
Yeah. If there was an obvious someone to sell to, I'd get around it.
Yeah,
but apart from Marshall King, I think there's not too many people. Val Holmes, you could sell him. But again, he's going to miss the 3 rounds, but he's going to play everything else. He's a winger, so he's going to probably back up as well.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys need him. So I'm tempted to hold him. He's coming off a big score as well, so his break even would be quite low, I'd imagine. 29. So it's probably not worth selling him.
No, he'll get that next
unless
week.
he's your only option to sell, to make a bit of money or to go to like one of the higher upside players, your Karaz, your Izako.
Yeah.
If he's your only option to that, I don't hate it. But otherwise, I think you can get away with holding him through the Origin period.
Yeah.
And again, with the backups, he doesn't play any of the Friday games, so that's good. Angus Crichton, I think he is a sell. I think being a forward, I think he's going to struggle to back up. I think he's going to play a bit of edge and a little bit of middle, so he's going to be beat up a little bit, Angus, I think. They also don't play 14, the Roosters.
Yep.
So he's missing 13, he's missing 14. He'll play 15, he'll miss 16. He might not play 17, he'll play 18. He'll miss 19, might play 20. So a similar situation with Hines. He'll play one more game than Hines in that period, you would think, but going to miss a lot. So I might hold him this week just because there's no obvious second row, and we'll touch on the second row options in a minute. But next week, going him to Fafita, for example, I think it's going to be a really popular trade.
Makes sense too.
Reece Walsh, he's probably a sell as well.
I'm gonna sell him for
and it depends. Like if you've got all of these guys, you're not going to sell them all,
no.
right? But
You got to pick your
you've got to pick which ones.
pick your poison.
Look at the draws. And sometimes it's just a gut feel.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm trading him. I already know who I'm trading him for.
It depends on who the options. Like for Walsh, he's taking up one of the fullback spots where you could get someone like Teddy in.
Teddy, Fuller, depends what avenue you want to go.
Yeah.
Money or points.
Yeah. So I think he's probably a sell, but look, I think Reece Walsh he's only young. He's the type of guy that probably does back up.
Yeah.
Again, Broncos, no Friday game, so he's got a decent turnaround. Yeah. I would sell him, I think, but he's not a guaranteed sell.
Guaranteed sell.
There's others. Yeah, exactly. There's others that I would have as a more urgent sell. Dylan Edwards, you could definitely hold him. Panthers, all of their backup games are on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So he does seem like the type of guy that would want to back up. They do. He's only going to miss the 3 games. He should play all the others if he backs up. I'm selling him though. Personally, I just have a feeling Panthers are going to want to rest him.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to leave it up to him. I think they're going to take it out of his hands and say, "You're not playing."
Getting him fresh for the back end of
because
the season.
The previous years, like with all their Origin stars, he's been the one that's had to play through all those major bye rounds
That's true.
because they needed him to.
That is true.
And he hasn't had that
he goes
rest.
hard too, the mad dog.
Whereas I think now he deserves that. He's got that opportunity to rest him. I think they will. And I think...
I mean, look how hard he plays for Panthers. Imagine when he gets that blue top on.
Yeah. And I think Panthers traditionally, like they've always kind of wanted to rest their players. At least one of those Origin games, they'll rest him.
Like juniors are hectic.
Like they've got the position on the ladder. They've got the depth in their squad to be able to rest him. Bring in someone like Dane Laurie at fullback.
Yeah, if you're top 4 heading into Origin, you're loving it. You can cop 2 or 3 losses here.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the end of the world. You can always fight your way back in.
Yeah. So, look, if it was up to him, I think he plays all the backup games. But I don't think it's going to be up to him. I think the club's going to take it out of his hands.
Well, give the young bloke some time as well.
Yeah.
Good for the future.
Lomax, I think he is a sell.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because, again, if he plays all 3 Origin, he's going to miss those games. Plus, the Dragons, they also have one of them backup games that they have a bye, so he's going to miss that anyway.
Yeah.
So he's going to miss at least 4 games. So, yeah, I think he's a sell. Cotter, again, I think he's a sell too. I think he's probably the most urgent sell out of all of these.
Not been that great either, SuperCoach wise.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
He's been okay, but there's options that can do the same with
better
him.
Options, yeah.
If not better. He's going to miss the 3 bye rounds. If he backs up, he's going to play limited minutes, and that scares me more, I think, than missing the game completely.
Yeah.
If they miss the game completely, you can not play him. You can work around it. But if they play 30 minutes and score 20 points, you're stuck with 20 points.
That's right.
So he's going to lose money when he comes back as well. I think he's, out of all of them, I'd have him as probably the most urgent sell along with Nico Hines.
Yeah. Fair.
Reece Robson,
I think he backs up.
I think, the same thing. Or I don't think he does. I think he plays, looking at the New South Wales bench, I think he plays 80 minutes.
I didn't really think of that.
I don't think he backs up.
And you got Granville too. He's still good enough.
Or if he does back up, he won't play 80 minutes for the Cowboys.
35 or some shit.
Yeah. I think he's probably a sell too, but again, like, who do you sell to? If you've got Robson, and it depends on your team. If you've got Robson and Grant, I think you've got to sell at least one of them.
One of them, yeah.
And I'd rather sell Robson over Grant.
Many people do that anymore. It's always one good one.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Yeah. And then Burton as well, we touched on. He's going to miss 4 weeks, even though he's 18th man.
Yeah.
He should back up, but he's going to miss 4 weeks.
He'll back up.
Guaranteed.
He's 18th man.
I think he's probably a sell. Again, if you've got him at 5'8", though, there's not a whole heap of options apart from Dylan Brown. Yeah. It's a tough one.
It is.
But yeah, they're all the Origin players, how they back up. If we look at the backup weeks, so round 14, Dragons and Tigers have that Friday game. So there's no one really that's playing Origin. Lomax, sorry.
Yeah, I dare say he'll play.
So 2 days later, though.
Knowing him, he'd want to...
Yeah, I don't know if he plays or not. So that's why I would have him as a sell, because he misses that.
2
And then he
days,
also
maybe not.
misses round 20 with the bye.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Round 17, it's the Bulldogs and Sharks with a 2-day turnaround. So that's someone like a Matty Burton. If he finds his way into the starting side,
he's not playing.
he probably
Hines
doesn't
isn't
play.
playing.
Hines won't play off a 2-day rest.
No, McKinnon. He'll probably play.
McInnes,
He'll
yeah.
probably force him to play.
He'll probably play 80 and make 95 tackles.
Yeah, I'm not. He'll probably look at Fitzy go, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
And then round 20, the Raiders and Warriors. So no one really there.
Yeah.
Maybe Mitch Barnett if he sneaks his way in.
Hudson Young, maybe.
Hudson Young.
That's it.
So they probably don't back up the Friday, but yeah. That's kind of it for the Origin players. You got anything else there?
You covered everything.
Too easy. Let's get on to the second row options.
For Lane. This is the Lane.
Because if you've got an Angus Crichton, you've got a Joe Chan, you've got a Lane, and you just want to get rid of him. Who do you look at this week? The obvious one for me is Preston.
Yeah.
He's got the starting second row spot.
I like Presty.
If you want to make the trade this week, I think he's the one. You could go Angus Crichton to Preston. He covers the 14 bye really well, so he's going to get you the next 2 weeks. He covers round 16. He covers the other minor buys too, so he's got really good buy coverage.
Yeah, I've narrowed it down to him and someone else for Lane.
That's kind of who I would go this week. There's not a whole heap of other options.
For me, it's him or Lemuelu.
Lemuelu.
Whoa. Yeah, but yeah, it's down to them two for me for Lane. So
the other one is Ewan Aiken as well.
Yeah, but I think Lemuelu has more upside.
Yeah.
Now that he's starting, this is him off the bench.
Yeah. So the last 2 weeks, he's got 96 and 53 in 80 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried with the minutes, like whether he does go back to the bench or not.
Well, that's the other thing.
Have they got people to come back? The Dolphins? They've got a few people out, don't they?
Yeah, older players like your Bromwiches.
Yeah.
Who are in and out of the squad due to injuries and... Yeah, so Tim or Preston.
I feel like Kafusi could come back and take that spot off him.
Kafusi's... Oh, yeah, true.
And have Kafusi and Aiken in the second row.
Yeah.
So I think there's just enough question marks over his job security.
Probably Presto then. That's probably answered my question.
Apart from that, I like it. But I'll just have a few question marks over that. And the other one, Ewan Aiken, I quite like. Last few weeks he's been doing really well.
He's been great.
He's got that job security. I think he's playing 80 minutes every week.
Yep.
And his scores have been really good. Like 58, awesome. 56, 84, 60, 83, 63, 74. He's not one that's going to get like 2 tries a game. But he's going to get
big work rate, a chance at a sniff.
He might get a try. He might get a cheeky try assist.
Yeah.
But like last week, he got 50 tackles. He just gets through his work. He's got high base. He's super reliable. He's not going to let you down.
Jesus.
Yeah. I'd be, if it was me, again, it comes down to your team setup and how you're looking for next week. Ewan Aiken won't play next week, but he'll play 16 and 19. So he gives you really good buy coverage.
Yeah.
Preston gives you good buy coverage because he plays those minor buys.
Yeah.
Doesn't play round 19 though. So it comes down to your team, where you're short.
Yeah.
You can't really go wrong with either of them. Preston, I guess there's a hint of job security. Does he go back to the bench when Kiko's out? When Kiko's back?
Surely not.
I don't think he does, but who knows? They do some strange things.
Over at the Bulldogs,
don't they? Like they've had Hutchison for the last 12 weeks when Sexton's been killing it.
Showed a lot in one game. But I must admit, the forward pack went forward last week.
Yeah.
Most other weeks, the Bulldogs forward pack has really struggled.
And he's yet to play 80 minutes all season. So, like, they've shown, like, round 10, 11, and 12, he's played 31 minutes off the bench, 57 minutes off the bench, 46 minutes off the bench. So, Yeah.
I think it's just that injury. I think Preston is their prized possession.
Yeah.
And Burton are like two guys
Yeah.
that they fucking want to see do well.
I can yeah. If I had to pick one of them, I think I prefer you and Aiken.
Yeah.
Just.
I might go Presty.
He's got that dual.
Risk it.
He's got that dual centre second row as well, which is going to be really, really handy throughout the season. You switch him around. Preston, I like it. I think he's got more upside. Preston.
Yeah.
He's that one that can cross over for a couple of tries. Yeah, I just have a couple of questions just about his minutes that concern me. But he's cheap. He's 530k. He's probably going to start making a bit of money. He's got a break even of 31. So whereas Aitken, I think he's pretty much hit his peak. I would have to imagine he's 650k. He's got a break even of 68. So you're buying him 100k cheaper, 100k more expensive than Preston. So I think if you had to make the trade this week, I think it's out of those two.
Yep.
Next week though, I think you've got your Katoa and you've got David Fafita, who I like both outstanding.
Yeah,
like they're
great
both great options.
Awesome
I think they're
players.
both better options than what you can get this week.
Yep.
But obviously, if you need a number this week, you can't go them. So it just depends. I think eventually you're going to want to get Fafita in the squad at some point. Like he's the best second rower by a country mile in SuperCoach. So it just, it's about weighing up your options. If you're able to get someone this week and then go Fafita next week for someone else, like if you can go Lane to Preston or Lane to Aitken this week, you can go Crichton to Fafita next week. Happy days. You don't want to limit yourself out of getting Fafita though. You want to make sure you've got that money there.
Yeah, money for it.
Because I think, if you don't get Fafita next week, I think you could be left behind because a lot of people are going to go him.
Yeah.
I dare say he will be the most popular traded in player next week.
Yeah.
By a long way.
Hope he doesn't do too well. I hope Queensland don't get pumped because they'll.
But that's the thing, That's the thing about Fafita.
About Origin, if they get pumped, he's coming in.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt in my mind. And he might even start. They might just fucking send it.
Mm.
You never know with Queensland.
Yeah.
They show loyalty, but then they also do some weird shit.
Yeah, they pick and stick until they don't.
Yeah. We pick and stick, but why is there 7 new changes? Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Let's go through the big ins and outs this week. So who are people trading in? So the traded outs, I guess, kind of obvious ones. Nico Hines, we've talked about enough. Reece Walsh makes sense.
Yep.
Especially when you look at who's the traded in players. Angus Crichton makes sense as well. We talked about him. I think he's a sell. Joey Lussick makes sense again. He's not in the team. Joe Chan, he's not playing. Fair enough. Jacob Gagai.
Why?
Yep. He's he's made 100k for you. Get rid of him now before he loses all of that money.
Yep.
Lomax, we've touched on. Dylan Edwards, we've touched on. May,
touched on.
Get rid of him. He's
Won't go into it.
He's touched on enough. And Blaze Talungi, he's still got a negative 20 break even, so he's going to make a bit more money this week.
I do get it still,
but he's not going to get the points, right? So
Gutho back.
If he's
no coach,
if you're relying on him for your points this week, then I would trade him.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to get you many points.
Yeah.
I don't think. But he's not an urgent trade. He's going to make a little bit more money this week. You can wait a week, see how they do use him. But I can get around it. The most traded in by a long way, James Tedesco. Makes sense. He's not playing Origin. I think even if New South Wales do lose, I think they're not going to drop Edwards. I think they've kind of made that decision.
Yeah, they're 100% sticking with
and
Edwards.
they're going to stick with it for the series. I think it'd only be if he got injured that he'd come in.
Yep.
So I think you're pretty safe picking him. He's got an outstanding matchup this week against the Cowboys. He's a great captaincy
and
option.
Tedesco. Like
It's
Tedesco.
It's Tedesco, and he's been in tremendous form. Like, you look at the last month of scores for him, even longer, like from round 8, 81, 112, 88,
back.
79,
Yeah.
151. Like, he's
Pretty-
back to his best,
Pretty much since he came back.
Yeah. He's
Had the head knock, got the 4.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's genuinely
The
a
Mitchell
very-
curse continues. I'm probably going to pick him up, guys, so do not pick him up because he'll be injured this week.
Nafua White. Again, we spoke about him. It's
It's like the May. It's him or May. It's a coin flip. People are picking him or they're picking May. They're picking him because
I don't like. Look, he's going to make money over the next couple of weeks. He's got a good draw. He should play big minutes, but I think once Connor Watson comes back, he goes back to the bench playing 20 minutes.
yeah,
So a lot of people, I think, are looking at the 71, seeing that he's starting at lock. 73 from last week, starting at lock, and thinking, yep, get him in. He plays 67 minutes,
yeah. Big.
but he's not going to keep it up.
But if he keeps it up, fuck, they might.
If he does keep it up,
they might bring Watson off the bench as a
Yeah.
backup,
yeah,
like a safe as you know what you're going to get.
yeah. I mean, like Watson, he wasn't out long term. I think he's back in
Yeah,
2 or 3
short
weeks.
It's a short.
Roosters have got the bye next week. I can't go him. I can see merit in it, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
Sam Walker, again, if you're selling Hines, I think he's the best option this week. Just, again, be mindful of those Roosters players, those Dolphins players, those Canberra players
Yeah.
on the bye next week. Again, we'll go through it in a minute, just touching on how many numbers we have.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of outs. When you look through it all, there's a
That's
lot
a
of
next
people.
week problem. You know what I mean? What about this week?
Eh,
You're talking to the experts.
Mate.
I'm talking to the general population here.
mate, you don't win SuperCoach thinking like that.
I'm not here to win it, dude. I think half the audience is neither.
David Armstrong, fourth most traded in player. I don't mind it. He's cheap, 380k. Still got money to make. Negative 53 break even.
After last week.
He's got 106 in his last game with 3 tries though, so he doesn't quite have the work rate, I don't think,
Of other people.
of other options. But look, he's not a bad option. You
Yep.
can't really go wrong with it. He's probably going to get your 20, 25, 26 in base.
Yeah.
But he's got the attacking upside. Their draw does get a little bit harder though over the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
They've got Melbourne in round 14, Panthers in round 15. So then they got the bye in round 16. Not
Even Parra back with Moses.
yeah.
Fuck, could be a tough outing. Really?
Yeah. Canberra in Canberra. That's going to be a bit of a
Manly,
dogfight.
they've only lost their games by 6 or less.
Then
I
you
feel
got
like every game.
then Broncos, and then Panthers again. So
West Tigers into Sharks.
it's a really, and then by then
Christ.
yeah, and then by then
If
probably
the Knights can get some wins
Ponga's
there-
back. But
Wow.
yeah, it's a tough little period for him. So the trade makes sense,
Yeah.
but I also don't hate steering clear of him. It's not
Yeah.
like there's reasons to not go him.
Dill Brown.
Dylan Brown, yeah, I think
Safe.
really safe. Now that Moses is back, especially,
Yeah.
he's going to go back to 5'8", back on that left edge. We know what he can do there. So I think big things are coming for Dylan Brown.
Yep. Jacob Preston.
Preston.
I like it, as we spoke
Yeah.
about. It's a good pick.
Yeah.
Big upside.
Kuraz, again, he's playing centre,
Risky. Still a big upside.
but
He's going to work.
he's going to keep that base up. He's still going to get you probably 40 points
Probably
in
gets
base.
more tackles now.
More
as well,
tackles,
so
yeah.
It's you can look at it through a half glass full, half
Yeah.
empty, however you want to look at it.
Yeah. He's 800k, so he's getting up there in price, but
Should have got on him a while ago.
yeah.
Sneaky picks. Sometimes I come up with some good ones.
Jack DeBellin, the 8th most traded in player. A little bit surprised by that. I wonder who people are trading out for him. He's got the dual position, front row, second row.
Yep.
Don't hate it. Yeah, I think he's a solid option. He's not going to do you anything incredible. Not going to get 100 points from him. People got Nico Hines at Jack DeBellin. It's, don't know.
What?
Interesting.
Okay.
But for Noah Blake, I'd hold on to him for now. I know he's got the bye this week, but I think he's going to offer you good coverage over the rest of the bye period. I think he plays 16 from memory.
And he was steaming about last game's performance. So fuck whoever they verse next with him in the team.
I know there's rumours going around about early release and that, but just wait and see.
I don't think so.
He's the best front row option by a mile.
Yeah. Yeah, big time.
I think just wait. Like if we do hear news that he's got that early release and he's not playing or whatever, sure, sell him. But like just for now, it's not an urgent trade.
Who's next?
Mitchell Moses, people bringing in.
Yep.
Again, we spoke about it. Good option. Just a little bit concerned about coming back from the injury and then also with potential Origin selections. But
and Jeremy Marshall King. Probably the second best hooker option in the league. So fair enough.
I think he's probably the best option over the bye period. So yeah, don't hate it.
I actually have no questions for you this week, but I have like a query. Who would you rather for Reece Walsh? Because I'm going to trade with Reece.
Yep.
Tedesco, you guarantee points, some short upside cash. Or Fuller could make you a wad of cash, and then you can buy a great second option with his money. So like, I could go Fuller. He could make me 200k. Let's just say 150. Let's be in the middle. 150k. Then I could bring back in Reece Walsh and someone else that's a gun in the future, like for those 18, 19, 20 and onwards. Push.
I don't think Fuller has that much more to make. He's already made 220k. He's got a break-in of 21.
I think he does.
He plays 3 weeks, right? He plays 13, he plays 16, and he plays 19.
Yep. Do you think Fido will back up? You reckon Wayne will want him to back up?
I reckon he backs up.
I don't know about the first one. Maybe the second and third, but the first one I don't think so.
I think he backs up at least 2 of them.
Yeah, I think that too.
So I think... Well, the first one, Dolphins have a bye anyway.
Well, yeah, they have the bye.
So he's not backing up. He doesn't have to. And then it's just 17 and 19.
So you'd rather
17 and 20 is against...
So if you got Fuller, you'd keep him?
I wouldn't be... I don't think I'd sell Fuller.
No, because he can make you something.
But I wouldn't... I don't think I'd trade him. I think...
I might go Teddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, my question's answered. I'm good.
Did we have any questions?
It was just me.
It was just you?
Me, mate. It was just me. So we're all sweet on that front. Who have you got this week? Let's talk. Let's have a look at our matchups before we...
I just want to touch on round 14 first.
Yep.
So, with that round 14, as we've touched on, Roosters, Dolphins, Raiders. Okay. If I look at who I've got in my team, and it's not just those 3 teams, it's also the Origin players backing up, right? So you might have Harry Grant might be out, for example. So that's something to just really keep an eye on. At the moment, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hines, I can't imagine playing. No 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got about 14 or 15 players.
Yeah.
It's not like round 13 where you only need 13. You do need 17 for round 14.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's something that you really need to look at. Go through your team, count your numbers, because you don't want to get caught short.
Yeah.
There is a lot. Like I don't even have that many Roosters compared to what a lot of people are, what a lot of people have.
Yeah.
I brought in Tedesco this week for Dylan Edwards.
Yep.
So with him, I've got 1, 2, 3 with Crichton, 4 with May. That's it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have Manu. A lot of people have Walker. I don't have either of them. A lot of people have Isako. If you're bringing in Jeremy Marshall King, that's another number. So, yeah, just really, really make sure if you bring in your Roosters and your Dolphins players in particular, just be mindful.
Big time.
My other trade is, I don't know yet. I want to bring in one of those centre wings that we talked about.
Yep.
And trade out May.
Yep.
It's just deciding which one to go to.
Yep.
I haven't quite made up
Put
my
the
mind yet.
Put the bat signal out early this time.
Yeah. Zarko, I'm a little bit off just because he plays 14.
Yeah.
Same with Manu. So that kind of leaves me Kiraz. Don't really like him playing in the centres, but I think he's probably the best option for my team.
Yeah.
Again, if you don't have that many players playing 14, then I think Zarko is the best option.
Yeah.
And I think May's probably not May. Manu might be the second best option, but it's all just team dependent.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking? You've got Lane. You're getting rid of him.
Yeah. Lane's gone.
He's gone.
Presty and Teddy. Presty and Ted.
I'm giving him one more week. Lane has 1 week just to... Surely he can crash over for a try against the Sharkies and I'll be happy.
I dare say our defence is going to be back.
Yeah.
We went from, 14.2 up to 18 because of that game. Points allowed.
Yeah.
Second best in the league, and now we're like fifth best because of one game. Fuck.
Yeah. We'll go on to captaincies. Big
Probably
week.
Teddy.
Big week for captaincies.
If I'm getting thinking, I'm going Teddy.
Because obviously only 13 players, so your captain can really make a huge difference this week.
Or break.
The Roosters matchups one to look at. Little bit of rain around apparently on the Sunday, so that's something to keep in mind. But I think any of the Roosters boys, to be honest, I'm thinking Teddy or probably Teddy.
I'm going Teddy.
You could risk it on a Dom Young or a Manu, a Walker. Any of those Roosters guys.
I'm going Ted for sure.
Yeah, there's not a whole heap of options. You could go... If you had a Mulatalo against Parramatta...
Big...
You could...
Any shark outside back.
They're
going to go hard this week after they got...
I'd like Kiraz if he was on the wing. At centre, I just don't think he quite has the upside. Yeah. I think Tedesco is the only real safe option.
Yeah, I'm going to go Teddy.
There's not a whole... Maybe Drinkwater, but the Cowboys have so many out. I just don't see them scoring many points.
Yeah, it's going to be hard.
With Drinkwater, though, he should get the goal kicking, I think, with Val Holmes out.
Possibly.
It'll be either him or Townsend.
Or it'd be the other half. Cliffy used to kick.
Could be.
Townsend doesn't kick anymore unless there's like injuries on the field.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not a whole heap. Dylan Brown potentially. If you're bringing in Moses, he could be a sneaky vice captaincy option.
Yeah.
I wouldn't captain him, but and the other thing with the vice captaincy, you pretty much have a free crack at the loop this week. So you can vice captain someone if they get 150 points. You can loop them. If you don't know what that means, it's just putting in a player. Everyone's got players that are on the bye this week. Put in a player that's on the bye into your team, captain him. He won't play, obviously. You'll get the vice captaincy points.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about getting an auto emergency or anything this week because you're not going to have 20 players. So you get a free crack at it. So vice captain in an early game, obviously before the captain plays. So but yeah, they're pretty much it. I can't think of any other real captaincy options.
I'm sorted. Who have you got this week before we go?
Let's go through that. No one. We got
the buys. Yeah, well, I'll probably still lose. Nah.
Big tough.
Good
tough
luck,
matchup,
prepare, I guess, for the weeks ahead. Go the Blues. Fuck Queensland.
That's the other thing. If you're only a head-to-head player, then these rounds don't matter.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to break your team. If you're in a cash comp or something like that, where you're only playing for your head-to-head, you don't give a fuck where you finish in the overall rankings.
Or even total points. People do total points.
Yeah.
Cash and shit.
Yeah. Don't worry about the round. Don't trade. Save some trades this week because you don't want to tear your team apart. Trade out all these Origin players.
Yeah.
When this round doesn't fucking matter.
That's right.
That's something to keep in mind as well. If you're a head-to-head player, this round doesn't really matter. If you're an overall player, it's probably one of the most important weeks. So, yeah,
All right.
I think we've covered a lot.
I'm good.
Nothing else to add?
No, I'm sorry.
No other questions, queries?
I'm all questioned out, dude.
Perfect. Let's go get some food. I'm fucking
I'm
starving.
fucking starving, dude.
Yeah.
See yous.
Goodbye.